What's good, friends? Did you know that Jesus prayed specifically for you? Well, if you're interested in that, we're going to talk about it in this video, so stay tuned. Friends, if this is your first time here, I just want to personally welcome you to the HomeGrown Ministries YouTube channel. I'm DJ, and on this channel, I strive to provide you with biblical wisdom and encouragement to strengthen your walk of faith. I do have a wife, 2 kids, and a full-time job, so I definitely don't post as often as I would like to. So if you like today's video and you don't want to miss any content in the future, please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, click on that bell icon, and then YouTube will let you know the next time I post a video. Because I don't know when that's going to be. It could be tomorrow or it could be a month from now. I don't know. So we've been going through the Gospel of John through our Bible study videos. If you've missed any of those videos, there is a link to the playlist down below or right here. You can click on that and see any of the videos you missed. But if you just want the Cliff Notes version, from a context perspective, we are currently in the upper room with Jesus and his disciples minus Judas. And at this point, he has been praying to the Father for several things. What we're going to read about today is how Jesus prayed for you and me 2,000 years ago. So join me as we read in the Gospel of John. We're going to be reading from John chapter 17, verses 20 through 26. I'm going to be reading from my handy-dandy NIV version right here, but you can read from whatever version you like. I will put the words on the screen for you if you want to read along with me. Again, if you don't, jump about a minute ahead and I will catch you on the discussion side. For those of you who are reading along with me, let's dive in the Gospel of John right now. My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one, I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. Father, I want those you have given me to be with me where I am, and to see my glory, the glory you have given me because you loved me before the creation of the world. Righteous Father, though the world does not know you, I know you, and they know that you have sent me. I have made you known to them, and will continue to make you known in order that the love you have for me may be in them, and that I myself may be in them. So how cool is that? Jesus prayed for you and for me 2,000 years ago. On the eve of his crucifixion, his last recorded prayer in front of his disciples was about you and was about me. God cares about us so much that the thing that was on his mind the night before he is crucified is the believers. He's concerned about us. Not only the ones that were around him then, but the ones that would come to him in the future. You see, God knows all of us perfectly from before we are even born. And he cares about us so much that when he was here on earth, he was praying for us. He was praying for our unity. And he was praying that people would see God through us. So I'm going to break that down a little bit. So as you can see in this prayer, Jesus is concerned about the unity of the believers. He reminds us in Mark chapter 3 verse 24 that a kingdom is divided against itself. That kingdom cannot stand. Now at the time he's referring to the claim of the Pharisees saying that he's Beelzebub casting out demons, and he's essentially saying a demon won't cast out demons because a house divided amongst itself won't stand. So yes, I am pulling this out of context, but the point here being that there's truth in that statement. A kingdom, including Christianity, cannot stand if it's divided amongst itself. And you see, Satan knows that very clearly. So he constantly puts things in the way of Christians to make us try to tear each other down. You see, Christianity will never be destroyed by atheism, but Christianity could potentially be destroyed by false Christians. Because if you pull apart pieces of the gospel and only take what you like and leave out what you don't, that's not Christianity anymore. So it's so important as Christians that we major on the majors, like Christ being the Son of God, but minor on the minors. So I know there have been churches that have split over what type of worship music we have during services. That's a minor issue, and it's personal preference. But don't let that cause dissension between Christians, because that division can cause harm to Christianity. We must major on the majors, but minor on the minors. Now, I think Christ is getting at something a little bit more specific here when he's talking about unity. He's really talking about the unity of our character. He is praying that when people see Christians, our lives, the way in which we live, the way in which we speak, the way in which we act, point people to God. Because remember, Jesus was our example of how to live. He lived perfectly, and he lived how he wants us to live. So we should reflect that, and that reflection should be pointing people to God, should be pointing people to salvation. And if we're not living that way as Christians, we need to change our actions. We need to let the gospel change the way in which we live. Because at the end of the day, our job is to bring people to God. Jesus then goes on to pray about his desire that believers be with him in paradise, and one day we will be. Jesus' main goal coming to earth as man was to take the punishment of our sins after living a perfect life, dying on the cross for us. He's taking the punishment that we deserved, but then he defeats death and rises again, and if he rose, we will too through our belief in him. That was his primary goal. And the best part about that is if we as believers go to heaven with him when we pass on from this life, understand no amount of suffering that we experience will seem significant compared to eternity. Think about it this way. If you had a medical issue that you dealt with for 10 years of your life, but you live to be 90, those 10 years don't seem like a long time of suffering compared to 90 years of life. Well, now take all of your suffering that you experience in the 90 years that you may be blessed with. Let's say you live for 90 years and every single one of those years is just filled with suffering. Compared to eternity, in your 1000th year of being in eternity with God, those 90 years will seem so insignificant. Take joy in that statement, friends. If you are a Christian, this world is not it. When you pass on, you will be in eternity with God. And eternity means forever. You see, some people believe that life is a line between two dots. The first dot being the dot of your birth, the second dot being the dot of your death, and the line in between is your life. But really, we are a ray of light, starting at that first point. But that ray of light goes through the dot of death into eternity, and the light doesn't stop. It goes on forever. So our suffering today, compared to our time in eternity and in paradise with God, will seem like nothing. So find comfort in that, friends. The most important thing that I see from this passage is that everyone in their life has to deal with who Jesus is. Jesus, at the end of the day, is a historical figure. There's historical evidence that backs up his existence, at the very least, as a man. It's up to all of us to determine what we do with that information. And you can either accept him as God, as he really is, and find salvation through that, or you can deny that truth. The choice is yours, but at the end of the day, everyone has to come to a decision about who Jesus is. So this Christmas, think of who Jesus is to you. If you're a Christian, think of what he's done for you. Be thankful for that. And ask him, what can I do in service to you? Because the gift you have given me is unimaginable, and I owe you everything. For those of you who are watching this video who might not be there yet, who might not be Christians, reflect on who Jesus is. Do some research on your own. Fact check your sources. Watch YouTube videos. Read the Bible. Find out who Jesus is and make a decision. Because that is the most important question that you are going to be faced with in your life, is what do you think about Jesus Christ? Guys, I hope you found value in this video. I hope you're enjoying the Bible study. If there's something that you didn't understand that didn't make sense, or something you have a question on, please let me know below. If I get around to it, I will try to answer it, or maybe I'll make another video about your particular question. And Christian friends, as always, please continue to be the salt to the earth, be the light to the world, and go encourage somebody else today, because the world desperately, desperately needs it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.